guys, and welcome to today's show. Today we are going to be reviewing this beauty from Christopher Ward. Now, believe it or not, this is actually the first non-round watch I've reviewed. I've never really taken to square watches, but Christopher Ward reached out to me, wondered if I wanted to review this. I could not turn them down. Now, I do realise I just reviewed the Christopher Ward. I didn't want to put them all together. I would like to spread the brands out. Oh well, it's a great brand. They're going places and they make great watches. Definitely has some unique features which we'll go into in just a second. Anyway guys, enough blabbering. Oh, I should do wristwatch check. Let me come a bit closer. I've got the Genera on. Look at that dial. Absolutely stunning. I've got it on a vintage strap. Ah, absolutely elegant, beautiful, beautiful piece. I'm really enjoying this. Anyway, let's get back to the matter at hand. So, wristwatch check done. Let's switch perspectives and have a closer look at this Christopher Ward. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the C5 Malvern Slimline Square from Christopher Ward of London. And the reference number is C5SQSLMSWS. This is the first square watch I've ever reviewed, but for me personally, square watches, they just don't suit my smaller wrist. However, we recently featured the Christopher Ward Trident Pro Diver, which I was very impressed with. This was left a little bit on the back burner. However, this is a really nicely made, beautiful piece. So let's get the specifications out of the way, and then we'll talk a little bit more critically about the piece. Obviously, we have this square case. This is completely stainless steel. It comes with this mesh bracelet, beautiful display back, and quite a highly decorated movement there. We've got a Côte de Genève finishing on the bridge there, lovely blued screws if we get a nice close-up there. This of course is a manual wind. We've got a screw down case back. The Slimline, well, as you'd expect, it's called the Slimline for very good reason. It is very nice and slim and elegant, and this goes back to the kind of mid-century trend of watch companies trying to make watches as thin as possible. It was a sign of elegance, it was a sign of refinement. So really nice to see a kind of return to that. And Christopher Ward, well, as you'd imagine on the dial, they have London Slimline there at the bottom. Very simple, just these sword hands, very clear, crisp, white. It's not glossy, it's a kind of matte white. And right at the bottom we see Swiss made, so very elegant. We just have these beautiful applied markers. No loom, so there's no loom shot. I'm not going to click my fingers, and we're not going to change to a loom shot, but it is a dress watch, and so you know that's perfectly fine. I wouldn't expect loom. It wouldn't go with this kind of styling anyway. So we have this lovely manual wind with this really beautiful kind of action to it. Reminds me of winding a pocket watch. Christopher Ward signed there on the crown, very nicely indeed, completely polished. No matted parts except for on the back. It's all high polish, Milanese mesh style bracelet with different links. If we look at the back here, connected by pins. Butterfly clasp there, very nicely done. Very solid push button, double push button deployment there, so opens up beautifully, lovely action to it. It's the quality you've come to expect from Christopher Ward. Very solid, very nicely made. The mesh here, the mesh bracelet, it's I mean, if I got my cheap Chinese one, where is it? I can't see it at the moment, but it's very nicely done indeed. Very solid, quite thick. Anyway, so talking of dimensions, let's do the dimensions now. As I'll turn my calipers on, just like to remind people I have covered this with sellotape, so please don't worry about the watch. We've got a diameter there of 37.5 millimeters. Very nice thickness. Lug to lug, we are looking at, get that right, 44 millimeters and a half. We've got a lug width of 20 millimeters there, which is perfect because that suits pretty much all my straps, so very easy to change out. Now, I must say, first of all, the size, the dimensions, absolutely perfect for a man's watch. Very nice. I could have done actually with a smidgen smaller, just to fit my smaller wrist. My wife was very taken by this, and she said actually if they do a smaller version she wouldn't mind one. It fits me very nicely. I didn't even have to size it. I think they did their research. So thank you very much, Christopher Ward. It's very elegant indeed. It sits very comfortably. especially with the mesh. It kind of holds it up a little bit higher and sits very comfortably. It's quite a heavy piece, very solid feeling. The construction of it is absolutely fantastic. The styling, I wouldn't say it's not Art Deco, because it's not in the Art Deco styling. Though we do have some beveled edges here that are slightly deco-ish, but it's a little bit more contemporary than that. So let's talk about the movement. Well, inside we have the Sellita SW210-1, and I must admit I'm not familiar with this movement. I have never owned it before, but it has quite an impressive specifications. We've got a 42-hour power reserve there. It beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour. We got a water resistance of 3 ATM or 30 meters, so definitely no swimming, no showering, nothing like that. Fine for every day, you know, maybe a little bit of light rain, but no sports activities, nothing like that. The actual case itself is 37 millimeters by 37 millimeters, so this is actually a perfect square. It tends to, because of the lug design, it looks like a rectangle, but actually it is a real square watch. Even though Jaeger LeCoultre isn't technically a square, it's actually more of a rectangle. But anyway, it is a total square watch. We have these lovely round edges. Bezel has a really nice slope to it. I do like that. We have sapphire glass sitting very neatly in there, not raised or anything. It's just so the bezel does kind of protect it nicely. The crown itself just pulls out one position to set the time. Of course, it is hackable. Just one position, no date, so very crisp and clean. In fact, I hadn't even noticed the date wasn't there. It's just so symmetrical, and I love the way the Christopher Ward is signed there at the top in black to give a nice high contrast to the white. Dial, it's very, very simple, very elegant, not ostentatious in any way. So this is completely Swiss made, and the finishing quality is absolutely impeccable. I really, really love that display back, the way it's rounded, beating away. It's absolutely gorgeous. Those beautiful blue screws, really, really nicely done. Something definitely to be proud of. That subtle Côte de Genève finishing is just it really adds a little bit of class and understated. But then this beautiful movement displayed at the back. It's a shame that all the best features are not immediately displayed. I just enjoy looking at the movement, to be honest. It's just very, very nice and quite relaxing. It's absolutely gorgeous, very nicely done. So sapphire on the back as well. Retails at $655 for what you're getting. You're getting a very, very nicely made watch. It's impeccably designed, very well made, and I think it's a good price. You probably get them a little bit less in their sales. Christopher Ward do great sales, and Christopher Ward are able to offer this because they cut out the middleman. You're buying straight from them. They really look after the buyer of the watch. They have fantastic, extremely long warranties. So it's a no-nonsense watch. My only possible critiques is that maybe, I would have loved to see some kind of sunburst dial, something a little bit more with a bit more pizzazz. It's almost too understated. It's some texture to the dial, perhaps. Something like that, but otherwise it's a very, very beautifully made watch. And the only other thing I would have to say is that I'm a bit perplexed why it would come on the mesh. I think it would look much better on a leather bracelet, and to really give it that dressy look. In fact, I would have swapped around the bracelets. I would have the Trident come on the mesh and the leather band that was on the Trident come with this. I think it's a bit unusual that they've got a sporty bracelet on a dress watch and a dress strap on a sporty diver watch. It's a little bit strange to me, but I guess they're trying to be different, or I guess that they're trying to switch it up a little bit. I don't know. Not really a big negative. Obviously, you can take this off very easily with the spring bars there and put your own strap on and really kind of bring this dress watch to life. In fact, I might even do that just to see what it looks like. Thank you very, very much to the lovely people at Christopher Ward for lending me this watch and allowing me to review it. I'm going to leave it there. Let's take it back to the studio. Okay, welcome back, guys. So as you can see, quite an interesting watch. Really like to hear your opinions. Any of you guys own them? I'd love to hear feedback, especially from owners of this watch. I think Christopher Ward are definitely going places. If they keep making watches like this, they're definitely onto something.
I think for the price, it's absolutely exquisite, beautifully made thing. But as we discussed, the negatives are that it is very conservative. Personally, I like something a little bit more special, a little bit more unique. You know, they play it very, very safe. And the great thing is that something like this is always going to be in style. It's always going to be tasteful, you know. A shame they didn't play with the aesthetics a tiny bit. I think some extra flair in there would have really brought this watch to life. Having said that, it's a beautifully made piece. I tell you something though, my wife saw this and absolutely loved it. She even asked how much it was, and she wanted one. And my wife has impeccable taste, so you know, that's a pretty good indication. Anyway guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Let me know your thoughts, queries, questions, opinions, all the rest of it down in the comments below. As always, thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to give this a like if you enjoyed it and found it useful. It really does help me. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Okay guys, ciao.